Hey, Macy Riggs at SeekChooseBe.com. Today we're talking about do-overs. And I love do-overs, if I can say it. I love do-overs. I think they're super important in relationships and just communication. When you're navigating, especially in a family unit, with your children, with your spouse, it's just a really good tool to use. Everybody involved kind of needs to be on board. They can be used wrong and not be as effective, or they can be a great tool to use. So what a do-over is you might have a situation where you handle something and you might go off the handle and yell at somebody or say a comment you shouldn't have, or just deal with it not in a way you want to. You know, a lot of times where you walk into the room and your kid's not doing what they're supposed to, and you're like, oh my gosh, why are you doing it this way? And can't you just listen? And you just kind of blow up. Usually something else is going on, and so it's just kind of the last straw. And what a do-over does is allows you, once you're calm, to go in and talk to that person and say, you know, I really handled that situation wrong. What I should have said, I'd like a do-over. What I should have said is, you know, I see that you're doing something else. I'd asked you, you know, to clean your room, you know, what's going on, and I wish I would have just had a conversation with you. And then that person can respond and go, oh, okay, I would have responded this way. So it's really a chance to say, hey, can I have a do-over? And it helps your brain to react in that way, hopefully next time. It gives you practice. It's not to undo that you just did something negative towards somebody, but it is a way to apologize and say, hey, this is how I wish I would have handled it instead. I mean, imagine when your husband leaves something on the floor, or your wife spends more money than you wanted to, or your friend, does something you don't like, and you kind of fly off the handle. It's usually out of anger, guys. So when that happens, part of apologizing and coming back is saying, hey, I was really wrong, and I don't want to be that person to you. Would you mind if I did a do-over and tell you how I would have handled it instead? And that person might be still mad at you and might be like, no, whatever, you just treated me crappy. Or once you start to utilize this tool, that person will be like, okay, how would you have handled it instead? And said, you know, I really should have said, hey, I noticed your socks are on the floor. It really kind of gets to me when they're on the floor. You know, is there some point that you're going to pick them up soon? Or, I mean, that could even instigate somebody. So think of how you would handle it, how you'd want to say it to them or to a friend. Hey, you know, I really should have your back, and I kind of attacked you when you said you'd done something. So, you know, I should have just said, hey, that's great. Let me know how I can support you. And then the friend can say, wow, that would have been a way better way to react. So it's teaching our brains how to react better. And it can be actually kind of a fun thing, depending on the situation. But when you get into the harder, more serious ones, I've had situations, especially with my husband, where I'm like, okay, I need a do-over. When I go to do the do-over, I start to, apologize and defend myself a little bit. And then I start to do the do-over wrong. I can't even think of an instance, but it's more like, hey, I shouldn't have yelled at you for putting socks on the floor, but I can't handle it, and I just wish you'd pick up more. And you know how you start to get into the attack mode even when you're actually apologizing? Don't do your do-over like that. They're going to see right through it. You really have to come from wait till you're calm, wait till you feel the remorse, wait till you can come up with a better way to say it, and come to them as that person. And I'll go to do a do-over and realize I should not have started the do-over yet. And then I have to do over my do-over. That's a fun one. But it can actually be a fun tool and a great communication tool, right? And a way to communicate to each other, what's going on and how we wish we were spoken to. Because we're not perfect, you guys. I know people like to say, oh, I have a great relationship with my spouse or with my children, and that's great. I never raise my voice, and that's great too. But there are some of us that just have moments where we just don't act how we want to. And it's a great practice and a great tool of, number one, apologizing, but number two, how would we respond instead, and giving our brain the tools, thinking it through and reacting the way we want to, so that hopefully next time our brain goes, oh, wait, in this situation, I remember I can respond this way and I have the tools and the words to do it because I've said it before. And it's great practice. I love teaching this to my kids and having them practice that. And don't use it where you ask for a do-over. Hey, could you do that over? I didn't like that. You can if it's coming from the right place, but that can also have a negative effect if the other person's still angry. Like they were angry at you, they blew up you, and you go, hey, you need to do a do-over. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to happen because I'm upset right now. So wait till things calm down, and maybe you can't do do-overs on everything. But when I have a really bad negative confrontation with my children or my husband, or a conversation that I didn't like or reacted a certain way, I always like to come back later and apologize. And do-overs are a great thing to go with the apology to help train your brain of the person you do want to be. And most people that love you and are around you will support you in that. Hey, I really care about you and I want to practice treating you better. I mean, who's going to respond bad to that? And if you do, I don't know. I can't help you on that point. So I love do-overs. Use this tool. Try it out the next time you kind of act like the person you didn't want to, or handle a situation you didn't want to, and see how it works for you. I'd love to hear in the comments how it went for you, what you thought of it, how the people around you handled it. It's something you can get together as a family and say you're going to start, or you can just start doing it and not even explain it to the person. Just ask them, hey, I would like to do a do-over. This is how it goes. Go ahead and read the post about do-overs if you want as well. But it's just kind of a fun tool that I don't even remember where we got it from, or if we just stumbled across it and started doing do-overs. We've actually used it for so many years. So it's a great tool to use. Have fun with it, guys. Let me know what you think. And have a great one. Keep on keeping on. You're doing great. You're amazing. Remember how amazing you are. And just keep striving to be the best you that you know you can be, that you want to be, and that you already are inside. All right. Bye, guys.